Suggestions and warnings on a plant-based diet. Dr. Robert Cassar, eartheracademy.com and eartheracademyretreats.com. Suggestions and warnings on a plant-based diet. Let's get into that. Now, remember, this is another just rethinking reality. I just want you to rethink the reality that sometimes you are being told by, well, a variety of YouTubers, by maybe just the theme of the system that wants you to start eating plants. Which, of course, again, remember, we've done lots of videos on what are plants good for. Well, remember, plants are good for, mostly for detoxification and cleansing. Now, the only reason I can tell you about these things is because I've been doing a plant-based diet for about 15 years. And this is what I've been studying, not only, in-depthly on all the different resins, spices, just different types of detoxification principles that come with plants. Now, cleansing and detoxification are what you'd call 90% of the plant world. And they are pharmaceutical based, pretty much when you concentrate them, at least a lot of them. And they are medicinal based a lot of times when you just eat them by themselves. Now, nutritionally, they're very lacking, of course, just because they just are. Nutritionally is because the bioavailability is not what you think it is. But anyways, remember, these are some suggestions and some warnings. Do as you wish, learn what you feel you can, and do your deeper research. Remember, there is sometimes a question that you have to ask yourself. If the system, the big system, is pushing you into something, then a lot of times there's a political agenda. And what is that political agenda? Well, you got to look deep. Okay, it's not just to get you to stop maybe eating meat for some reason. It's not to maybe get you to save the planet. Okay, from maybe pollution, from, well, supposedly all of the toxicity that is, well, in the world of eating meat. Again, let's get into the suggestions and some warnings. So the first thing is that we've had hundreds of thousands of people from around the world. This is what I've been doing for 10 years on earthshiftproducts.com. We've been pushing a variety of quality plant-based products, exotic plant-based products from all over the world. And this is an experiment that we've been doing, like I said, for about 10 years. And the reason why we started this experiment is because I wanted to see if we can thrive off of a plant-based diet. And a lot of people, remember, are just getting into this now, but this has been going on for a long time. Plant-based diets were usually sort of like what you'd call the hippie diet, okay, the hippity-dippity diet. And that diet, of course, is sometimes what you'd call the deeper layers of that diet would be the vegan diet, which would be to really abstain from anything that had to do with an animal, even honey. Why? Because it's throw up, right? From the insect. Not even eating an egg. Why? Because it's, so they say, the period of an egg. Okay, no, this is the life force that this machine does. Chickens, of course, are miracles. They have an egg every day, and they can give you the full nutritional value pretty much just in chicken eggs. Your cholesterol, a lot of your B vitamins, choline, just a lot of things that basically are in the miracle of eggs. And I'm talking fertile eggs and eggs that are wild, that are eating insects. But anyways, let's get back to some suggestions and warnings if you're going to go ahead and do the plant-based diet. And a lot of people, remember, are just starting this venture because you got the movie The Game Changers, you've got Cowspiracy, you've got Earthlings, you've got all these different propaganda movies, okay, documentaries, to show you basically, that there is another way, because the way that we're doing business, as they say, is incorrect because it's poisoning everybody. It's causing the world to become polluted. It's causing the people to become sick, okay, and tired and diseased. But then again, you got to look deeper into the system here. There is a system here that wants to push this vegan type diet on you, or just even vegetarian, or just if they can get people to eating less flesh. So the warnings that I've come up into are to be able to know that, again, plants are for cleansing and detoxification, and you have to watch your P's and Q's there, because it is not sustainable, in my opinion. Okay, just doing a vegan diet only and not having any cholesterol in your diet, not having any animal products at all, okay, in your diet, I think is a grave mistake if you think that you could sustain yourself on this for long periods of time. The vegan diet is more of a fasting diet. It's fasting away just basically from animal products. Again, cleansing and detoxification is what this diet does, but you can only go so far. So guys, the warning is, watch yourselves, is because you're not going to get any of the micro element, okay, of vitamins, of certain nutrition that you're going to get from animal products. Remember, we've been eating animal products for as long as we could understand, okay, the journey of the so-called human. None of us have ever eaten vegetables by themselves and sustained a community. There are some people that, of course, can break down some of these foods a little better than others, okay, but most people generally will start to go ahead and actually just get a cleansing effect and a detoxificational effect. Remember, we've had hundreds of thousands of people from around the world do the vegan or vegetarian diet, but I never pushed veganism, is because I do not believe that this vegan diet, okay, remember, is long lasting. If you want to do veganism, it's great, do it for a month. Sustain yourself. It's a fast. It's like doing a 2-week fast that we do at the Earth Academy retreats here, okay, is to sustain, you know, a certain level of low-level nutrition, because there's not high-level nutrition, low-level nutrition, even though you think that what you're eating is high-level nutrition, just because the macros, okay, the fats, the carbohydrates, the proteins, okay, these certain things called macronutrients, okay, or calories, they're in there. They're in the plants, but the bioavailability of the plants, again, remember, is suspect, at least what I found out. And there are no studies on any of these diets at all. I don't care if it's carnivore diet, the vegetarian diet, the Mediterranean diet. All of these diets don't have any long-standing studies on them. They have epidemiological studies, okay, and a good channel for you to be able to see, again, is for you to be able to see alternative approaches. Look at Bart K's channel. He's got a good channel because he's going to go through several different ideas, disciplines, concepts that are incorrect, that are being touted on the internet. So it's not that anybody really is correct, it's just that there is a lot of incorrect things going on. Remember, the warnings that you need to look out for is, do you know what oxalates are? Because you're going to start eating a lot of them. Oxalates, we just did a video on that. Okay, do you know what they are? Do you know what they are? And Bart had a nice video called The Best Oxalate Talk You'll Ever Hear, okay, with EO Nutrition. And this is good for you to start out your searching of researching some information. Remember, you don't just jump into anything. Don't just jump into the pool unless you feel it with your toe first, if it's cold or hot, right? You want it too cold, you don't want it too hot, and if it's just right, then, well, that's fine. But these diets, remember, are extreme diets. You have to go ahead and know, remember, a diet is something that you're just going to go ahead and do for a period of time, and you're going to die. Part of yourself is going to die, okay? And you will feel better from that, most likely, because maybe part of yourself that's going to die is maybe the parasites that are in your system. You can get parasites from plants. You can get parasites from a from the bathroom door handle or the toilet seat. You can get parasites from walking in your bare feet in the grass, hookworms. You can get parasites from kissing your girlfriend or your boyfriend. It's the way it is, guys. Parasites are everywhere. And if you've got the immune system that'll let these parasites take a hold of you, then you're going to get full of parasites, and you're going to get sick and tired from just the parasites that live inside you, feeding off of you. Your immune system's low, and you're feeding them all these processed carbohydrates, all these sugars. Again, warnings. Most of these diets, especially the vegetarian or vegan diet, are just high carb diets, high sugar diets. That's what you get. And they're very, you can say, unbalanced in the foods that you should have in your diet. We do need certain things for our brain, and you get those from fish, EPA and DHA. You're not getting that from plants. And if you think that you can break down these precursors, you know, ALA and all these different things you're going to get from flax seeds and soy, then you're going to have to do a little digging deeper. Remember, what are phytoestrogens? Remember, warnings. Look and see, okay, what you're getting into. Phytoestrogens. Why would you take a plant estrogen inside your body when plant estrogens are basically the same as your body's estrogens that are produced? Why do you want more estrogen in your body? And especially if you're a man, why do you want man boobs? And if you're a girl, why do you need more estrogen? Remember, estrogen makes you feel, testosterone makes you do. So, plants are catabolic, okay, mostly, and animal products are anabolic. So you can only catabolize yourself so much. So be careful of that. Again, warnings and some suggestions. I would suggest that you look into oxalates. I would suggest that you look into phytoestrogens. I suggest that you look into endocrine disruptors, the things that they spray on the plants. Okay, and not only that, in meat too. They feed feedlot meat all of this poisoned garbage food, which of course is moldy. I don't care if it's moldy hay, moldy seeds, grains, and these produce estrogen. So when you start eating certain foods, you're getting estrogen also in meat. So this goes for not only on a plant-based diet. Remember, the nuances are very, scattered, and you're going to have to go ahead and dig deep. So learning from various different people is very important. Okay, you've got Dr. Ken Berry, MD, Dr. Paul Saladino, MD. You have Dr. Sean Baker, MD, Dr. Natasha Campbell. Okay, you've got Sally Norton. You've got a lot of experts in these fields, and these are experts because this is what they do on their day job and their night job. They're not just people just jumping into this because they're trying to sell you some pea protein, okay, because it's money oriented. These are clinicians, these are people that are doing practice, okay, that actually make sense. And there are some good people out there doing some good research. But then again, most of the research, again, is non-founded. It's non-founded because it's only, really, this is a new type of way of eating, and we're not going to find out what's going on by eating soy protein and you've got yourself pea protein isolates, then you've got all this high-level hemp protein. Remember, a lot of these proteins have estrogenic values to them. So I would also suggest you looking into lectins. What are lectins? Okay, and this is what I had a lot of problems with too. I had, remember, bleeding stools for like a year and a half. I had super swollen joints over the last year and a half. Is because I got myself some problems with too many of these detoxification and cleansing types of treatments that I was doing. And that's basically the plants. It's my diet. And of course, we teach a lot of different detoxification and cleansing types of protocols on eartheracademy.com, and those are good. Again, you're not doing them every day, you're doing them on cycles. Okay, how do you get out some of the heavy metals out of your body? How are you going to get out some of the plastic out of your body? How are you going to get some of the parasites out of your body? Okay, these are some of the things that, and it's all an experiment. No one's telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I've done, and we change it a little bit as we go, just to make it so it's easier, it's more economical, and more efficient for anybody to be able to grab. So all I can tell you is, guys, the warnings are that the vegan diet is a very unsustainable diet. So watch yourselves. If you think that you can turn into an herbivore, which has a completely different gut than what we are, and we have, remember, an acidic stomach, has a pH of 1.5 to 2 to break down high quality, dense proteins and fats. This is what we live off of. So got right now, look, I'm having some plants. I got some what did Mark make here? Put a passion fruit in there. We've got a couple of bananas in there. I've got some oranges in there, a little bit of coconut oil. and that's it. And that's going to be my drink before I work out. I'm going to go work legs in the gym. and I'm going to have explosive carbohydrate power. I don't eat carbohydrates and mix them with my proteins or my fats that I eat. So this is the problem, that a lot of people that are, in the plant-based world, all you're doing is you're loading up on carbs. And a lot of the carbs you're eating is a bunch of processed carbs in a box or in a can. You're eating a bunch of glyphosate. Okay, what is glyphosate? These are the things that are put on these plants. What is atrazine? These are the things that are put on these plants in the soil. What are you eating? You're eating all different types of chemicals, okay, from how they grow plants. And if you're eating organic plants, that's fine. Remember, now you've got yourself a strong plant that's full of plant defense mechanisms called phytoalexins. That's another thing you need to look up. Remember, these are warnings. Look and see what you're going to put in your body. Phytoalexins, those are plant defense mechanisms. And an example of that is just like cabbage. Cabbage has 49 endogenous pesticides. Endogenous means inside the plant, that is grown naturally in the plant. And the stronger the plant is, the more organic it is, the stronger these defense plant mechanisms are. And therefore, plants to defend themselves against insects, mold, fungi, okay, and just pests in general, aphids or anything that wants to eat them. So you have to really be smart, guys. Processing certain foods, of course, is totally necessary. The raw vegan diet is the worst long-standing diet that you can do. Is because you're going to have a ton of plant defense mechanisms that you're going to be eating without processing the plants. Okay, and it's good to be able to put in certain plants in your body for short periods of time. Remember, this is a hormetic effect. Hormetic effect is where you put some poison in your body, a small amount, and your body will fight this poison. You put in too much poison, and now the dose is really a poison, is because now you're going to cause assault to the body. So again, you have to watch the plants. There are so many different things that are grown. Remember, the plants are genius. They are an alien species here. Just because they can't run, what do you think? That they want you to eat them? Remember, the seeds are toxic, really toxic. So you're going to have to learn to be able to soak your seeds and nuts. And any seed that you're going to soak, better soak them for 3 days, guys. And if you're going to eat like beans or anything else, then you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to use a pressure cooker. Like, let's say you want to have kidney beans or chickpeas. Then you use you soak them for 3 days. You get off most of the phytic acid out of them and the plant poisons out of them. And then if you want to get the rest of the poisons out of the seeds, because nothing wants, what do you think the seeds want you to eat them? They want to propagate. Remember, everything is here to survive. There's defense mechanisms on everything. Even parasites have them. I got the windows shut here and it bothers my throat because I got the air conditioning on a little bit. Let me turn this all off here. Open the window up, get some fresh air. Okay. Now, if you're going to have any of these seeds, then you got to soak them for 3 days, change your water several times, and you're going to want to pressure cook them. Buy yourself a pressure cooker, just like we used to in the old days. You want potatoes? Peel off the skins, the lectins. Okay, and pressure cook those potatoes. You're not getting too much nutrition in there, because when you pressure cook stuff, what do you think you do? You're just taking the plant poisons out and you're making some of the nutrition bioavailable, but what you're doing is washing most of the bioavailability out of there. Just like when you cook broccoli for 10 minutes or so and you steam it, then look at the water on the bottom. Yeah, you took out a lot of the sulforaphane, you took out a lot of the plant poisons, but what you did now was just make it turn into a very mineral deficient vegetable. And it does have more minerals, but it's when it's non-cooked. But you're going to start getting problems in your gut probably in time. And again, this is what happened to me. It's because I thought the more plants I could eat, the better, because that's the way they tell you it is. And I thought that way before too. Okay, so let's finish this video here. Gonna go work out, like I said. Okay, so simple warnings here are that you got to be smart. Okay, just because some system wants you to eat a lot of plants, okay, then you're gonna have to go ahead and say, well, how do I eat those plants? How do I process those plants? Are some of those plants that I'm gonna eat, like curly kale, okay, what's in that curly kale versus the dino kale. Is there different species of certain types of food you're going to eat that you want to maybe not eat? Okay, the curly kale's loaded full of oxalates. Remember, look at almonds. Everyone's changing from certain flours and going over to almond flour or almond milk. Almonds are loaded full of oxalates and, of course, other toxicities that are in them. So, someone says that dairy is bad for you. Yeah, it is. Think of it. Dairy is bad for you if you're eating or drinking anything from the cow that has been given conventional food, RSBT, hormones, vaccines, okay, all different types of antibiotics. What do you think's in the food that you're eating? So what kind of dairy would you eat? You're going to eat grass-fed, grass-finished. They only have grass. They don't have any hormones, antibiotics, or vaccines. And I only have, if I have raw milk or raw cheese or raw butter, it's because it comes from this source, and it's hard to find. So if you're going to have dairy, then you got to make sure it's clean. If you're going to have eggs, you got to make sure that they're pasture raised, okay, and they're not fed a bunch of glyphosate. If not, you're just eating, let's say, certain foods that you're eating, then you're just eating a large amount of estrogen. Is because this is what these moldy grains will propagate inside the foods. So let's get again back to, the warnings for this plant-based diet. You want to look up, like I said, phytoestrogens, lectins. You want to look up phytates, okay, phytic acid. Okay, I'm not telling you what it is. Look it up, guys. Okay, what is phytic acid? This is why you ferment your vegetables, to rid yourself of the phytic acid to make them more bioavailable. And what does that do? Well, the fermentation makes your vegetables sort of, become fermented on the table in your kitchen that is going to simulate the cow's gut. And the cow's gut, remember, has a fermentation chamber. The ape's gut, okay, or its intestinal tract has a fermentation chamber. We don't have a fermentation chamber. This is why when you eat a lot of plants, you'll find out that the plants that you're eating, okay, are fermenting in your gut. And they're going to give you gas, they're going to give you bloating, they're going to give you intestinal distress. So watch it. Okay, and then in time, what will happen is after a while, you'll start having problems in your gut. You may get IBS, you might get just any type of intestinal problem. What happens is after a while, and you can look and see a lot of the things that happen to especially vegans. Look up the channel Vegan Deterioration and you can see what happens to people. Okay, you can even see me on there. You can see what happens to people over 3 to 5 to 10 years of doing veganism. It's not making them better, it's actually draining them and drying them out. So, life is again, like I've said in many videos, it's a set of choices. Okay, what kind of choices are you going to have? Well, you're being pushed right now and telling the story that you need to start eating a lot of vegetables, okay, just like your mama told you. Well, if they're processed correctly, then great. But you're going to find out that if you're just eating vegetables only, there's going to be a point in time where you're going to have to really, really look into yourself and check and see if you're getting any of these problems, emotional problems. Remember, if you got too many hormones in your system, imbalanced hormones, then you start getting emotional, you start getting depressed. Okay, this happens to a lot of people on the plant-based diet. You can see a lot of people on the plant-based diet, okay, over time will start to in a short period of time, you'll start to lose weight and you'll do all these, you'll start to feel better energies, probably because you came from the standard American diet. And the standard American diet is a garbage diet. Remember, it's full of chemicals, it's full of processed food, it's full of fake food, junk food. And then you jump into a little better food source and you start feeling better. Well, what do you think happens? Okay, but again, the warnings are look into, okay, oxalates, phytoalexins, estrogen producing plants, estrogen producing even essential oils. I would look into also the poisons that they put on these plants. Okay, glyphosate, atrazine, glyphosate, all the fake chemical fertilizers, NPK. Remember, this is what you're eating. You're eating a lot of chemicals. And then you have to really look and see, okay, great, I'm going to be a vegan. I'm going to give this a try, and that's fine. But then again, remember, it's a deficient diet. That's why they want you to have 30 plus different types of mostly chemical supplements. And supplements should be added on top of a nutritionally, what you can say, sound diet. Okay, so if I'm into bodybuilding and I want to get more protein, then maybe having a protein powder with my sufficient diet will be good. Okay, because I want to add more muscle on, then I'm going to have to add more protein in my body. So again, remember, I've been now about 8 months on flesh and fruit. And I've cut out grains, seeds, nuts, okay, greens, all these things. I haven't had any. And I've only been having eggs, cheese, butter, fish, and grass-fed, grass-finished anything besides pork. I've been eating 2 meals a day mostly. Sometimes I'll only eat 1 meal a day in my evening meal just because I'm not working out that day. But the days I do work out, like today, I work out 4 days a week. And I've put on 22 pounds of pure muscle, okay, just in 8 months. Am I on steroids? No. Look, did I get fat? No, I still got my abs. No, I put on 22 pounds. Look, my face isn't sunken in as much anymore. Hey, like that beard? Okay, I'm on like 5 weeks right now. Okay, a lot of my hair, everything feels better. Why? Because I got body collagen back in my body instead of my body becoming starving for collagen. Starving for collagen. I haven't had any collagen in my body pretty much for 15 years. Why? Because I haven't had any animal products. So remember, the experiment was for me to see how long I could go and thrive. Veganism, I did that for 6 months, and after that I started losing my testosterone, my testes, everything started to shrink down. Why? It's because there's nothing anabolic in there. And if you're a man, the last thing you want to do is have your testes go ahead and get smaller than the size of a medium-sized chicken egg. If you start doing a lot of these plant-based and or phytoestrogenic foods, then your testes start shrinking, guys, and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking down to little tiny little, size of a nickel or a dime, and that's not good. Okay, and then you start getting man boobs. And if you start getting man boobs, guys, that means that you have been estrogenized. And you can tell if you have a man boob or not because you grab your areolar tissue and see if you got a lump in there. Okay, we just had the last retreat come just in January, and most of the guys there had estrogenic buds in their nipples, either on one side or on both. And that just means that you have high estrogen. If you have cellulite on your body, that means that you have high estrogen, especially for guys. And girls, if you got cellulite on your body, that just means that's all estrogen. That's high levels of estrogen. And that body fat, remember, is super toxic, full of chemicals, full of a bunch of different things inside your body. That's not you. So, a lot of sugar in there just from the fruit. I've got a passion fruit, like I said, in there. Oh, it's got some coconut water in there. Also some coconut. Fresh coconut from coconuts. And a couple oranges. Sort of tastes like orange Julius, as you can see. So the last warning is real simple. When you start to not feel good, you're going to have to maybe start to refeed yourself. And that took me about 12 years before I started to really degenerate. If you look at my videos back 3 years ago, you'll find out that I was still doing pretty good. I got skinnier and skinnier and skinnier, though, as times went by. I got weaker and weaker and weaker, and it was hard for me to keep my strength. So just like I said, I started eating flesh again about 8 months ago. And I started out with fish. And I started working my way up the ladder. I did fish for a couple of months, a couple days a week or so, just to have that. And then I've had massive, beautiful results. Okay, I felt all of a sudden my brain was coming back. Maybe because I was deficient. Remember, and I had a superfood company, which, thank you, family, for letting me do this experiment for the last 10 years, is because we have never made a dime on Earth Shift products. We have never made a dime on OGIO, Ultimate Superfoods. All we've done is as my family said, as long as you can break even, then I'll keep the company open. We can't break even. We never have. I think 1 year we broke even. That's it. Okay, so we're closing down the companies here coming up, so there's a lot of good deals on Earthshift right now. But the end of this experiment is over. So all I can tell you is my report of findings now, guys, on what I found out over the last 15 years. And right now I'm rebuilding myself. I'm rebuilding myself to get back my health. Okay, so we'll do a lot of different types of videos, and all I can do again is tell you some of the reported findings that I've found out, and hopefully it helps you guys. But don't think just because the propaganda system wants you to start eating all these vegetables and all this processed garbage, kibble, okay? A lot of kibble. Another good channel to watch also, has a lot of great guests, is Tristan in Primal Health. There's quite a few people out there that, again, Frank Ciufano, okay? He's good too. A little emotional at times, but you know, these are younger players in the game. And you know, all we're trying to do is try to find some truth here, and the truth is that none of us really know what's going on until we dig deep and experiment. So my experiment at this time is refeeding now. I've already done the 15 years of plants, and what it did was, after about 12 years, I got sick. My joints, couldn't even walk up the stairs. I couldn't even, you know, push weights because all my joints were sore. And weak as weak, and I got down to 127 pounds, and my face, everything started sucking in on my body. Okay, so that's not good. And when you get your body all sucked in, and your face sucked in, and your belly sticking out, and you're bleeding out of your arse, well, then what do you think happens? Okay, that means that you better stop what you're doing, and turn your life around before you wind up getting an incurable disease like everybody else gets. Yeah, I could have went to the doctor. You know what they would have did to me? They would have put me on a host of different types of synthetic chemicals just to be able to see if they could change my diet, forget about anything that was ailing me. Okay, it's just to be able to say that magic pill's going to make me miraculously get better. What a joke, again. Okay, so watch it again, guys. Once you get sick, remember, you're going to have to dig deep. So use the plants wisely. They're for cleansing and detoxification. I don't like to mix any plants with my food that I'm eating now, so I only eat protein and fat together. Okay, so last night I had some tuna belly. I had a little bit of liver. Let's see. I had, let's see, what else did I have? I had about 1.5 pounds of grass-fed beef, and that was it. And you got to really watch chickens too, because most of the chickens, even though if you're having organic chicken, they're feeding them all this garbage food, and the chickens are high in estrogen too, even if they're organic. So again, there's warnings on all these different layers, but basically, guys, all I can say is you better be smart and do some research, okay, on these plants, because these plants, again, are very powerful detoxification agents. That's what they are. Very powerful. And in time, if you take too much detoxification agents, then what happens is it doesn't detox you anymore, it makes you sick. So I will go back to eating plants, of course, and I'll probably go ahead and do a vegetarian diet for like a month, and then I'll refeed myself. And the vegetarian diet for me is, remember, eggs, cheese, butter. Still putting saturated fats in my body. You do need those things. Okay, your body lives off of saturated fats. It lives off of cholesterol. Every cell has cholesterol. Saturated fats are the protective coating for your body. Okay, they're not bad for you. What do you think they are, really? Okay, and again, if they are, it's only because you're eating saturated fats from animals that are full of estrogen. So remember, eating uninfected animals make it so you don't get parasites, because you can have infected plants. You could just, like I said, walk on the ground on your bare feet and you'll get hookworms. So it's not like you just get parasites from meat. You get parasites from infected things. And that can go for plants, that can go for shellfish, that can go for fish. Once they're infected, then they pass their infection on to you. Okay, let me lock up the car. I'm ready to go. again, be careful, guys. And, you know, just one last thing, because I didn't finish it here. I see Mark walking up right now. I'm going to go work legs in the gym right now, and I need testosterone to work legs. And I didn't work legs for the last like 7 or 8 years is because I couldn't. Like, I didn't have the strength. I didn't have the strength, and my joints hurt so much. Every time I went ahead and did any type of squats or legs, my back and my legs and my knees and everything killed me. Wasn't worth it. So I'm going to probably in the future here, I'm going to try, once I get up to the year mark, of really refeeding myself. And sometimes it takes a couple years just to go ahead and get your zinc back, just to go get your body. Remember, your body has to remake itself with the foods that you put in. And it takes 6 months to a year and a half for your body to remake itself with the foods that you're eating. So if you're just eating a bunch of foods that basically don't have a lot of the microelements in it, then basically you're remaking yourself insufficiently. And so I'm rebuilding myself. Like I said, I've rebuilt myself 22 pounds right now. 22 pounds is miraculous. Miraculous. Okay, without any hormones? No, because I have hormones. And let me tell you, my hormones are off the map now, better than they ever were. I'm dreaming so strong right now at night. So strong. And before, I never hardly dreamed at all. I didn't sleep well either. I didn't. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to eat probably about 1 month. I'm going to go on an anabolic diet. And I'll do 1 month of vegetarian. An anabolic diet is eggs, cheese, fish, like I said, butter, fish, and grass-fed beef. Nose to tail, liver, kidney, flesh, muscle meat, okay? And I don't take any supplements at all. I don't need to take any supplements right now. I mean, I got all my supplements in my food. That's what I got. So, and I'll probably switch off every month. I'll go a month with the detoxification plants, vegetarian, and I won't work out as much those months. I'll do more stretching and more detoxification, more catabolic type things. That's why you see a lot of vegan people, they don't work out. You don't see them working out because they don't have any hormones. All you see them is doing is yoga, stretching. You don't see them running. You don't see them lifting any weights. You don't see them doing anything. Okay, you see them being lazy. And you see them so they smell. A lot of the vegan people, the hippie people, guys, wash your underarms. Learn the skin cleaning protocols that we share on Earther Academy. Okay, because if you stink, do you think for some odd reason we want to smell your funk coming out because you're eating garlic, white onions and green onions, sulfone hydroxyl ion? Do you really think we want to smell that crap? Guys, all I can tell you is that if you're eating that garbage and you stink that bad, then all you're doing is you're causing dysfunction to yourself, because no one wants to smell your dysfunction. They just don't. Okay, anyways, it's time to go. Here he comes. Aloha. We'll see you on the next video, and watch yourselves. That's all I can say. Watch yourself. Do your research. And, once you start having problems with stuff, guys, well, you may learn from other people, from their insufficiencies. Again, watch some of the different vegan channels that are showing people what's happening to people. Bobby's Perspective is another good one, okay? Good channel to go ahead and watch. Remember, there's lots of good channels here, and maybe I'll make a list of them so you guys can see what I've been watching. Okay, we'll see you guys. Aloha. And if anybody wants to get me on their podcast, I'd like to share some of my stories to people. And remember, it's warning people, guys, don't just think that whatever you're going to eat is going to be good for you. On either side of the fence, any diet, there are certain things that we learn as we do these diets. So if that's the case, then learn from some of the people that have already done this, because you newbies, okay, you're coming into this and you're just basically like a newborn. You know nothing. And you think that, you see all the fat people walking around, all the sick people walking around, and you think for some odd reason, okay, that you're not going to get sick from this vegan type diet. It is a malnourishing diet. It is a fast. It is not sustainable, especially raw veganism. It is the worst. The worst is because you're eating all the plants defense mechanism plants. Okay, the phytoalexins they're called. So, anyways, I did even talk about, remember, the exogenous pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides that are sprayed on the plants. Remember, glyphosate is sprayed on a lot of these plants to desiccate them and dry them. And you're eating glyphosate and you wonder why your testes, guys, are this big, okay? You're wondering why you got man boobs. You're wondering why maybe you two girls, you wonder why you're getting fat. You wonder why you're getting lazy. Okay, you see a lot of people in this vegetarian and vegan community. Why are you fat? Okay, why? You should be super muscly. You should be vital. Vital is having lean body mass. Look at fruitarian people, okay? You don't have lean body mass. I see skinny body mass. Yeah, you're lean. You're so skinny, you're going to blow away in the bloody wind. Okay, that's enough. Aloha. We'll see you guys next time. Woohoo! Nice day in Hilo. All right.